Hi, welcome to Rocky Railway. My name is Tiffany and I'm excited to ride the rails with you this week. Each day we're going to start right here with morning worship. We'll sing and have fun and learn about Jesus. Right now we're going to sing a song about how Jesus' power can pull us through.
We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, oh, oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. Make us whole and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you.
Imagine what it would be like to journey on a steam train through the beautiful Rocky Mountains. A long time ago, trains were the fastest way to get around. If you had to go up a hill or take a long journey, they were the fastest way to get there. Not many people ride steam trains anymore. Tell me about a time that you've ridden a train. Steam trains get their power from steam engines. Imagine that a steam engine is a little bit bigger than this tea kettle. When the water boils, it pushes steam through a little hole and it whistles. Pretty cool, huh? Inventors figured out a way to capture steam and turn it into power. Enough power to pull a train thousands and thousands of pounds over tall, rocky mountains. Trains have the power to cross miles and miles of deserts, carrying things to people who need them. Huddle up with your crew. Imagine you have a steam train and you can load it up with whatever you want and take it wherever you want, without crossing an ocean, of course. Be creative. You have about 30 seconds to come up with what you want to take and where. Amazing responses, everybody. This week, we're going to discover a special kind of power that you and I already both have. We have Jesus' power right here to help us do important things. Maybe when you think of power, you think of superheroes with superpowers. What are some superpowers that you wish you had? Talk about that with your crew. Maybe the word power makes you think of somebody with super strength. Now we're going to get into our next song that tells us all about the power of Jesus' blood. Jesus' power helps us to do hard things. Trust Jesus. Let's sing.
Feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. It's the power to move, and it starts. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. And God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop. Feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. It's the power to move, and it starts. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. And God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. Let's do it all again right now. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop.
Important truth from the Bible to remember. Today we're going to explore how Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Anytime this week when you hear somebody say, Jesus' power helps us do hard things, say, trust Jesus. Let's practice. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus. This week we're going to get to know many Bible memory buddies. They're going to help us remember our Bible points, and each one of them can be found in the Rocky Mountains. Let's take a look.
Hey there, friends! Glad you're all on board for a rambunctious week of faith and fun at Rocky Railway. I'm Ramsey, a bighorn sheep. Can you guess why? Okay, that was too easy. Check out these cool, curvy horns God gave me. Ram's horns can weigh up to 30 pounds. That's as much as some of our littlest preschool buddies. Wow! My horns have to be tough because we male sheep use them to keep other rams out of our territory. People who study rams say we can run into each other at 20 to 40 miles per hour. Bam! You can hear that sound for miles. Me and my herd hang out all over the majestic, massive Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains rock! If you head up to find me, strap on your hiking boots. Sometimes my herd grazes in an alpine meadow. 'Cause that's where the good stuff is. Wow, good! But the meadow makes us an easy target for predators, so we also like to climb way up those crazy cliffs. We sheep like it steep. Me and my family can hang out on a little teeny tiny ledge that's only a few inches wide. Animals like bears or coyotes can't bother us here. Whew! And check out the view! God made us just right for staying safe in those hard, rocky places. My hooves are split and have a rough skin on the bottom that grips tight to the rugged rocks. Plus, I've got excellent eyesight. No glasses for me. It may sound like climbing these cliffs and balancing on jagged ledges is hard to do, but God has given me everything I need to live here. Fine food and my family safe. I've heard that you sometimes have to do hard things too. When there's a bully at school, maybe you feel like you're in a rough, rocky place. You may not be balanced on a cliff ledge like me, but maybe you have to balance homework, chores, sports, music, and friendships. That sounds hard. Maybe coming here today and making new friends even feels like a hard thing for you. But did you know you don't face those hard things alone? No way! Jesus is right beside you. Yep, even right now. He gives you His power to climb through those mountains of worry and get through any rough stuff you gotta do. The Bible powers you up with this truth. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. That means you don't have to have your own power to do hard things. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus.
When you see Ramsey, remember that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Let's sing a song called Everywhere I Go to remind us how Jesus' power is with us through rocky times.
There's a spirit I cannot contain. There's a spirit I cannot contain. The same power that raised Jesus up from the grave. The same spirit I cannot contain. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. This my home. Your fire in my soul, your kingdom is my home, and I don't walk alone. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid, this my home, come what may, where I go with you. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you.
I heard some commotion around the rail yard about a rock slide last night. That could really be bad. I wonder if there's anyone around here to tell us what happened. Oh, he looks like he works here. Excuse me, sir. Do you work here?
Do I work here? Friend, I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. But I don't just work on the trains. I drive them. The name's Cam. Camtrack. I'm an engineer on one of the railroads here.
Hi, I'm George, but you can call me Will. With a name like Camtrack, you must really love trains.
When you got good ones like Bessie here, they just become a part of you.
That's pretty deep, but me and my friends heard something about a rock slide. Is that true?
You heard right. Some huge boulders tumbled down the mountain last night and landed right on the track.
Wow, that could really cause a problem.
It can. In fact, me and my crew were supposed to take an engine down this morning. Good thing I'm here to take care of it.
You really think you're strong enough to carry one of those massive boulders?
Oh, I don't think. I know.
Okay, if it's that easy, then let's warm up on the rock right here.
Easy peasy. But you might want to stand back, though, just in case it goes flying.
Okay. All right, Cam, you can pick up the rock now.
Just a second, Will. Stretching it out.
All right. It's a light rock. I think you can do it.
All right. Useless. It's just too hard.
It's funny you mention that, Cam, because today, me and my friends are learning about that Jesus' power can help us do hard things. Trust Jesus. Say it with me, kids. Say trust Jesus on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Trust Jesus!
You see, we all take hard things differently. It may be taking a hard test at school, or having to stand up to a bully, or having to take care of a sick family member, or saying goodbye to a lifelong friend.
Will! What are you doing? We already established that I'm not that strong.
Cam, we're all not strong enough to handle the hard things in life. That's why we have a best friend named Jesus. Jesus is powerful in every way, and he can even help us in the little things too, and on the inside too. Even though life may seem heavy, Jesus is always there to pick up the load.
Huh. This Jesus guy sure sounds like a good guy to be friends with. Well, I gotta find a way to get these huge boulders off the track. Maybe this Jesus guy could help me find a way to do that?
Yeah, definitely. Tell you what, when me and my friends are done here, we'll come and help you pick up those boulders for the rock slide.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Cam.
Hello everyone, my name is Ari, and today I'm going to help you guys learn our memory verse. Our memory verse today is, "For I can do everything through Jesus Christ who gives me strength." That verse is found in the book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. Sometimes learning memory verses can be a little bit difficult, so I came up with a couple actions to help us learn today's verse. We're going to take it step by step and learn each part individually. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Let's start. The first part is, "For I can do everything." So we're going to start out by pointing to ourselves. For I, you're going to point to yourself. For I can do, on that action, can do, you're just clapping. For I can do everything. On that action, you're going to go ahead and reach towards the sky and bring your arms back down. Are you guys ready to do it together? Okay. For I can do everything. One more time. For I can do everything. That was great, guys. Okay, so we're going to learn the second part of that verse now. It's through Christ. For that part, we're going to go ahead and move our arms together and push out. Through Christ. And we're going to point up towards the sky. Let's do that again. Through Christ. One more time. Through Christ. Now we're going to go ahead and add that to the first part that we learned. Are you guys ready? For I can do everything through Christ. Let's do that one more time. For I can do everything through Christ. Okay, kids, Now we're going to go ahead and try to do the entire verse together. We'll do it very slowly at first. Let's start. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Now we're going to try and do it a little bit faster. You guys can handle it. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Okay, guys, the very last time we're going to do it, and we're going to do it at a normal speed. Are you guys ready? I'm excited. Let's go. For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Okay, everyone, you did a fantastic job learning that memory verse. So, I'm going to challenge you to go ahead and do that verse with the actions or without for anyone in your family, anyone in your household at some time during the day. You guys can do it. I believe in you. So, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next section of our day. But before that, you guys know what we have to do. Go ahead and find your train whistle. Did you guys find it? Do you know where it is? I have mine. So we're going to go ahead and get our train whistles. You're going to bring it up to your mouth, and you're going to toot that train whistle as hard as you can. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Great job, guys. See you later.
Hey guys, welcome to Imagination Station. I am so glad that you guys are here. I can't wait to make some amazing crafts and do some fun activities with you guys. But first, I have one question. Did you bring your imaginations? Awesome. So today we are going to be making some amazing crafts, but first I want to tell you guys a little story. So I was talking with my friend Ramsey. You've met him, right? He's a bighorn sheep. And he was telling me how living on the mountain is so amazing. But sometimes it can get a little hard during the winter. But you know what Ramsey does when things get hard? He remembers to tell himself that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus. So, right now, I want you guys to turn your imaginations on. All the way to the top of all of their power. Get your imaginations ready, because today is going to be amazing. So, first things first, I'm going to be asking you guys a little question, and these are called open talk questions, and we do these every day in Imagination Station. Are you ready for your first one? All right. So, your first question is, how long do you think it takes a baby bighorn sheep to learn how to walk and climb just like its mom? Do you think it takes 1 day, or do you think it takes 6 weeks? Now, go ahead and stop. Think about your answer and talk about it with people in your house. Do you have your answers? Awesome. Now, oh my gosh, I seem to have lost the answer. Can you guys help me reveal it? Awesome. So, to help me reveal the answers, I need you guys to make a big drum roll. So stomp your feet or slap your lap as hard as you can. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And the answer is 1 day. A baby bighorn sheep can learn how to walk and climb in 1 whole day. Thank you guys so much for helping me remember that answer, because I really couldn't. Anyway, now it's time for our craft. Today we're going to be making an off-road roller, but first we need to make some train tracks. So, get out a piece of paper and some markers and draw some beautiful train tracks. Get some mountains, maybe a stream, or you put your dog or your cat in it. I'm not going to say anything, but make it your own and make it super creative. But if you don't know what to do, just go ahead and follow my steps, and we can make something amazing. Guys, so now we're going to make some train tracks for our rollers to roll on. So go ahead and get yourself a piece of paper and some markers and a pen, and we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing you're going to want to do is draw some tracks. I'm going to draw mine straight up and down and then horizontally, which is side to side. So just draw 2 lines up and down, and then 2 side to side. They don't have to be perfect either. So then after that, you're going to want to draw some lines inside of your tracks to, well, make them tracks. So we're just going to go ahead and draw these lines here. Once again, does not have to be perfect. So go ahead and take out your day one, try this at home, off-road rollers, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So first thing you want to do is take out the biggest piece, and oh my gosh, guys, look! Ramsey came to visit us! Ramsey came to visit, guys. Look. Hey, Ramsey. How you doing? Okay, so I'm going to take out everything inside, and we're going to first pick up the black roller. Can you see it? So we're going to pull it apart. And you're going to look at the two tops, and you're going to see that one of them has a extended piece. Or if you can't see it, lay them flat in your hands, and one of them is going to be sitting up higher than the other. That is the one you want to use first. So you're going to take one of your rubber bands. You're given two of them just in case one of them breaks. And you're going to take it, and you're going to put it through the hole on the outside of your black roller. And you're going to pull it through to the middle. Now, don't let it go. You need some to stay outside. Now you're going to take your long yellow straw, and you're going to put it through the hole. Just like that. Now, this next step is a little difficult, so you may need some help from an adult. You need to put the other part of the rubber band through the middle of the other side of the black roller. So sometimes if you can't stick your fingers through, like I can't really stick mine all the way through, you can take a safety pin and extend it and turn it into a hook, which is why you may need some help from an adult. So at that point, you can stick it through the hole, and you can attach the paper clip to your rubber band. Oh, I dropped it. Oh no. Or you can put the rubber band through it, put the paper clip back through the hole, and now connect your two pieces so that they are now one big roller. Yeah, there we go. So now it's one big roller, and the rubber band is coming out on the other side. So you can go ahead and take your paper clip off of there. Thank you, Mr. Paperclip. And go ahead and put the other yellow straw through this side, and now you're done. You've got it. So now how do we use this off-road roller? So you're just going to move your extra stuff out the way. Excuse me, Ramsey. Goodbye. And now you just twist it up. So I like to do this from the long side because the short side can't really turn like that. And you just want to spin it. And spin it, and just spin it until you feel like it's been spun enough. So then after that, you just want to put it on your paper tracks that you made, or on the floor, because this does go pretty far. So you're just going to put it, going to once again wind it up in case you let it go. And once it starts to move on its own, you know it's ready. And you're just going to put it down, and I don't feel like it's going to go the other way. Let it go. Oh! Okay, I'm going to do it again. So once again, just going to wind it up, put it down, and let it go. Anyway, guys, that is how you make an off-road roller. Thank you so much for coming to my imagination station today, and I cannot wait to see you guys again. So I'm going to go ahead and send you guys off to your next activity, and have a great day, and remember that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Bye, guys.
Hey kids, my name is Amy, and throughout this camp experience, I'm going to be telling you guys a big fun story, and this is day one. So our story begins in India, and Ringu and his mother and his father and his little brother Batu jumped on a wagon and decided to go to the village, to the bazaar, which is a marketplace. So as they were going, Ringu was looking around at all the trees, and he was wondering if there were any evil spirits or tigers. And when he finally got to the village, they slowed down, and he started to watch for a man, a very tall man who the people had said talked about one God, and his name was Grub Sahib. This man was a missionary, and Ringu was looking out for him. But when they finally got to the marketplace, he didn't find him, and he stepped down and he shrieked. So he looked down and he grabbed his foot, and there was a long thorn in his heel, and he gritted his teeth and he jabbed it out. So he went back to his father, back to the bazaar, where his father was buying pom-poms and ropes for the bullocks. And the bullocks were going to be used for a festival the next day, because in India they have lots of festivals where they race. So these bullocks were going to be used for the race. So they were buying things for the bullocks, and his father decided to stop by and get a coconut because he said, who knows, maybe someone will get sick. But while they were at the marketplace, Ringu saw a very yummy banana in the distance, and he decided to grab it and put it in his trousers. He stole the banana. So then he heard music all around the air, beautiful music. So he and his little brother Batu decided to go towards the music, and they were running, and they were dodging people left and right, and boom, he ran into somebody. And this man was a very tall man, and he dropped all of his papers. And when he looked up, sure enough, it was Grub Sahib. So Grub Sahib, the missionary, he picked up his papers and he gave one to Ringu. And he said, this paper contains the words of the Lord, the one true God, which for Ringu was kind of weird because in India they have lots of gods that they worship. So he said to him, this paper contains the words of the one true God who sent his son Jesus to die on the cross for your sins, to overcome the power of Satan. So Ringu grabbed his paper and he turned toward the musician that was next to him. When they turned, they saw the musician playing on this strange box, and it had white and black tiles, and every time that he pressed onto them, beautiful music would come out of it. And they had never heard music like this before. It was wonderful to them. Him and his little brother Batu were really, really happy to be hearing it. So the musician stopped playing and he said to them, I am Pandu. I used to worship evil spirits too, and I used to make offerings to them to make them happy. But the one true God commands that we worship him and him only, because he is the only true God. And at this point, his little brother Batu was a little worried because the evil spirits were hearing them. And he said to his brother, maybe we should go. But Ringu said to him, if it is true, then it is good. I want to learn more about this God. So they went back to their father, and their father couldn't help but notice that he was limping. So he asked him, is your foot doing okay? Are you hurt in any way? And Ringu had to grit his teeth and say, yes, I am fine, because he wanted to race the next day for the festival. But when he awoke the next day, his foot was hurting more than ever, and he told his mom, because moms. But his father went in and called the witch doctor instead, because he saw that this was much more serious than just any foot injury. When the doctor got there, he saw that the witch doctor was bent like an old man, and he had beads and ropes tied around his neck, and his face was evil and his eyes were sharp. So Ringu was really, really scared, but he knew that this would make him feel better. So he decided to let him do his thing, and the doctor tied a rope around his ankle. And when he tied the rope around his ankle, his father decided to pay him. And the doctor told them that they should probably make an offering to a rock idol. So his father opened up the coconut that he bought earlier, and he poured it onto the rock idol, and he offered it as a sacrifice. But Ringu was still a little reluctant, and he remembered the paper that Gurub Sahib had given to him. So he decided to try and read it, but Ringu hadn't learned how to read yet. He was still young. He was still going to school to learn how to read. So he couldn't read it. He was really, really confused. So he decided to put it away, and he decided to go and wash the bullocks instead for the festival. And when he was doing that, the pain in his foot just got worse and worse. And his little brother Batu noticed, and he asked, are you sure you're going to be able to race? And Ringu decided to sum up the courage and say, yes, I will win this race. And he walked determined to win that race that day. And it was the day of the race, and when the signal went off, the bullocks were running faster and faster, and Ringu was about to fall. But he caught his balance, and he kept on running, screaming because he was excited and because he was in pain. But he finally got to the end of the race, and he won. And his parents were so incredibly happy, and they embraced him, and his father was very, very proud. And when he got back home, he said, good job, son. And he saw that his foot was still hurting. So he called the witch doctor, and the witch doctor threw red pepper into the air this time, and his entire family was sneezing. Come on, everybody, sneeze with me. One big sneeze, let's go. Achoo! So after the red pepper, the doctor decided to keep on going with his procedure, and he blew into his ears, and that really hurt for Ringu. And then he decided to take a peacock feather and tie it around his ankle. He poured liquid onto his foot and poured black powder on it and rubbed it into his foot, which hurt Ringu a lot. And Ringu started crying. Have you guys ever had an injury where you hurts a lot and you start crying? It hurts. So Ringu started crying, and all he could think was, why, oh why did the evil spirits do this to him? He was frustrated, but he remembered the paper, the one that Gurab Sahib had given him. So he remembered the paper, and he decided to try and read it again, and he still couldn't. And that's when it came to him. If he couldn't go to school anymore, then he couldn't learn to read. Then what would happen? All right, kids, I hope you guys like that part of the story. You guys will get to find out what happens next. But for now, let's see if you guys are paying attention. So, number 1, these are some review questions. Little quiz for you guys. Number 1, where did Ringu live? All right, you guys have the answer? Okay. India. Okay. Number 2, and the last question. Wasn't a lot, I know. Who did the paper from the missionary talk about? You guys have the answer? It was Jesus, God, the Son of God, Jesus. What should I do for my outro?
Well, guys, let's be sure to stay tuned tomorrow to find out what happens to
Okay.
Ringu.
Okay. Is it recording? Yeah. Okay. So, good job, guys. I thought you guys did great. Thank you guys for listening. But make sure that you stay tuned tomorrow because you want to find out what happens next, right? Okay. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys tomorrow.
Hey kids, hope you've been enjoying your first day of kids camp. I've seen so many great things happening today, from imagination station to skits to all the awesome songs that we've been singing. Hey, I'm so excited for this week. I'm glad that you guys could join us online. I hope that you're tuning in every day. I hope that you're paying attention to all the great stuff that we're putting out. There's some really good things. Hey, I believe that this week God is going to do some incredible things in your life. There's some really good teaching that you're going to get. There's some really good Bible verses for you to memorize. There's some great Bible points for you to learn. So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're dialed into everything, because God wants to do something incredible in your life. Even though you're at home on the couch or wherever you are watching this, it's okay. God is still with you in your living room, and God is everywhere. So there's no limit. There's nothing special about being up at camp. There's nothing special about being down at home. God is with you wherever you are, and He wants to speak to you this week wherever you are. So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're geared in. Well, I'm excited to share with you my message for tonight. We're going to have a different person every night doing our evening teaching, and I have the awesome opportunity of opening us up with night 1. We've been talking today all about our main Bible point. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus. It's so cool to remember the amazing power that Jesus has for us. And as I give you this short teaching tonight, I want to encourage you to take some notes. If you can write, there's going to be some points on the screen for you to write down. There will be some verses that you can write down. And if there's something important that I say that just stands out to you, you can write that down too. Maybe you don't want to take notes. Maybe you want to draw a picture that relates to what I'm talking about. That's totally cool too. Do something to help you engage with this message. It's going to be great for you. Our verse today was Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. You learned it with Ari, and that verse is, I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Such a great verse, and what I want to do in just a few minutes is talk about what that verse means. I can do everything. Think about that word. I can do everything, all things. There's nothing that I can't do. But if you think about that, is that really true? Can I really do everything? Can I fly? No. Can I breathe underwater? No. So what does that verse mean if it says I can do everything through Christ? Well, there's some things that I definitely can't do, right? Well, it might be helpful if we know the story behind this verse. It'll help us understand what it means. So the book of Philippians, where this verse comes from, was written by a man named Paul. And we're going to learn a little bit about him this week. But Paul was a traveling preacher in his country. He'd go from town to town all over the place, telling people stories about what Jesus did, sharing the message that Jesus is the king of the world. And he'd tell these stories. And sometimes Paul was well off. He would stay with rich people. He would eat fancy food. And you might think it was easy for Paul to follow Jesus. He had kind of an easy life, just going from town to town, getting up, saying a few things, sitting down, having some dinner, staying with some rich people, sleeping in a comfortable bed at night. But it wasn't always easy. Sometimes Paul had to go to some hard places. Sometimes Paul had to be around some people who didn't like him so much. Sometimes following Jesus meant that Paul had to do some hard things. Not everyone liked Paul's message. Some people were very mean to him. They would make fun of him. They would call him really awful, mean names. Some people would beat him up. Some people even tried to kill him. There were times when Paul would spend nights on the ocean or go days without eating. He had a hard life following Jesus. And when Paul wrote our memory verse, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, he wrote that while he was sitting in a jail. He was in prison because he had been preaching the message of Jesus. And now he's in prison. He'd actually been sentenced to death. So he's in prison waiting to die. And that's where he writes these words, I can do all things. I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. That's what he had in mind, sitting in a jail cell, awaiting execution, and his thoughts are focused on Jesus. He says in that moment, in this really hard place, as he's facing some hard things, I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. So here's what our memory verse means. When we say, I can do everything, it doesn't mean that I can do impossible things or I can breathe underwater or fly or turn into a chipmunk, but it means that everything that Jesus tells me to do, he'll give me the power to do. Everything that Jesus tells me to do, he'll give me the power to do. You can write that down if you're taking notes. It'll be on the screen. Everything that Jesus tells me to do, he will give me the power to do. That's what our verse means. And that's really good news because Jesus tells me to do some pretty hard things. Can you think of some of the hard things that Jesus tells you to do? Well, I can think of a couple. One thing that Jesus tells me to do is he says, I should obey my parents. Now, I'm an adult, and so it's easier for me, but when I was a kid, that was a hard thing for me to do because my parents would sometimes tell me to do things that I didn't really understand or didn't make sense to me or I just didn't want to do, and it was hard for me to obey my parents. It's still kind of hard sometimes for me to always honor my parents and respect them. That's a hard thing to do. Jesus told me I have to be nice to people. And he said, I have to be nice to people even when they're mean to me. It's easy to be nice to people when they're nice to you. But when someone's mean to you, it is so hard to be nice to them. But Jesus said, I'm supposed to do that. That is a hard thing to do. Jesus said, I should help other people, even if I have something more important to do. Now I'm kind of a busy guy. I have a lot of things going on in my life. I'm busy a lot. I've got a lot of important things. But Jesus says, I should take time out of my busy life. I should take time out of all my important things, and I should help other people. That's hard. That's a hard thing for me to do. Jesus says, I should speak with kind words and not mean ones. And that's hard to do. It's hard. There's some things that Jesus says he asks us to do that are just hard to do. And it's okay to admit that. That Jesus sometimes asks us to do hard things. But everything that Jesus asks you to do, he will give you the power to do because you can do everything through Christ who gives you strength. Now, those are some really hard things to do. But Paul reminds us in Philippians that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus. That's what we've been saying. Remember, every time you hear the Bible point this week, we're going to say, trust Jesus. Trust Jesus. We're going to talk a lot this week about trusting Jesus, both in good times and bad times and easy things and hard things. But what does it mean to trust Jesus? See, trust takes action. If you're taking notes and writing notes, you can write that down too. Trust takes action. Trusting is something that I think with my head. It's something I feel with my heart. And it's something I do with my actions. It's something I think with my head, something I feel in my heart, and something I do with my actions. If I say I trust Jesus, then I'm going to take action on that trust. If I say that I trust Jesus, then I'll do what he tells me to do, even when it's hard, even when it's scary. I'm not just going to think that I trust Jesus. I'm not just going to feel that I trust Jesus, but I'm going to obey what Jesus tells me to do. I'm going to do it with my actions. I'm going to do it with my life. I want to help you guys understand what that means. And so I invited a couple friends to join me. You guys can come on over. Josh and Camtrack. His other name is Josiah. These are my friends, and I've known these guys for a while. And I wanted to do something with them to help you guys understand what it looks like to trust Jesus. So what we're going to do some trust falls. Have you guys ever done a trust fall before? It's something that's kind of fun to do if you haven't done it before. You cross your arms like this, and you fall backwards without putting your arms out to catch yourself, without stopping. You just fall all the way backwards, and you trust someone else to catch you. Do you think you can do that? I don't know. I'm going to try it with my friends here, with Josh and Josiah. Josh, do you think we can try trust fall?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Ready? A little nervous. I don't know. I think I can trust Josh, though. Ready? Whew. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Let's see if we can go a little bit lower. All right? Okay, let's go again. Whoa, that was kind of low, kind of scary. That took some trust. Okay, well, that was not too bad. What do you think, guys?
You know, I think you got one more in you, Adam.
What do you mean, Josiah?
I mean that.
Oh, that. That's pretty high.
Do you really trust us?
Yeah, I think I do.
Let's do it.
Okay, you guys ready for this? This is gonna be fun. Okay, I'm gonna go just one step at a time. All right, ready? Let's count together. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that wasn't bad. I can do that. Should I
How
go
about a
high?
little higher?
Let's go higher. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Whew. Okay, that was kind of scary. We're getting there. Should we go
Maybe
higher?
just one step higher?
One step higher? Okay, let's go. 2, 3. Okay. Ready? With me. 3, 2, 1. Woo! That was kind of scary. Guys,
One more.
do you think we can go all the way up?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this. All right. I think if I go any higher, I'm going to touch the ceiling. All right. Ready? Okay, count it with me. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Whoa. Thanks, guys. Give it up for Josh and Josiah. Thank you guys so much. That was fun. That was kind of scary, but it was good. It was good. Whew. We got it. We made it. A little nervous. Okay. I'm good. That was scary, but I trusted the people catching me. And so I was able to do it. And do you know why I trusted them? I trusted them because I know them. I've been friends with them for a while. I know Josh super well. Josiah and I are good buddies. And so because I know them, I know that I can trust them. I've seen them lift heavy things before. I saw this morning Josiah was helping lift some rocks. I've seen them carry some things. I've seen them, and they're strong guys. And so I know, because I have a relationship with them, because we're friends, I know that I can trust them to catch me. Even though it's a little scary to be up on the ladder, even though it's really scary to fall backwards and not be able to catch myself, I trust my friends because I know my friends. And that's what trust is. Trust isn't just something I think, isn't just something I feel, but ultimately it's something that I do as I choose. I'm going to fall, and I'm just going to trust them to catch me. Trust takes action. Now, it's like that with Jesus, right? The more that you know Jesus, the more that you can trust him. I trust Josh and Josiah really well because I have a good relationship with them. I can trust Jesus because I have a good relationship with him. As you grow in your relationship with Jesus, you'll be able to trust him more and more. You'll be able to do things that seem harder and harder. You'll be able to face situations that seem scarier and scarier because you know Jesus. You have a relationship with him. You begin to trust him more and more. So how do you grow in your trust with Jesus? Well, you can read the Bible. And you can read about things that Jesus has done in the past. And you can read about awesome ways that he's helped his people. And you can learn to trust him because he did it for them, and so he can do it for you too. Maybe you can ask your parents to tell you a story about the time when they had to trust Jesus and tell you a story about how Jesus came through in their life in a powerful, amazing way. Your parents probably have some awesome stories about Jesus. You should ask them. And when you hear those stories, you can learn to trust Jesus more because you know him more. But the best way to learn to trust Jesus, the best way to grow in a relationship with Jesus is for you to talk to Jesus yourself. That's something that you can do. You can talk to Jesus anytime that you want to, no matter where you are, no matter what time of day it is. Jesus is never taking a nap or never asleep or never away at work or never in the bathroom. He's always available. He's always with you. You can always talk to him. And as you talk to him, as you pray to him, you'll learn who he is. You'll begin to know him more and more. And the more that you know him, the more that you'll trust him. And so when he asks you to do these really hard things, you'll be able to do it because you can trust him. When you face really hard situations in your life, I know a lot of you guys have some hard things going on. There's maybe tough things going on at home. There's definitely some crazy stuff going on in our world. And life can be scary. Life can be difficult. You maybe don't know everything that's going to go on in your life. Maybe you're moving or maybe there's stuff going on at school. All this different stuff. It can be scary. It can be hard. But when you know Jesus, when you have a relationship with him, you can learn to trust him even in the middle of scary, hard, difficult things. I know Jesus in my life. And I know that I can trust him. I've been through some hard things, but I've had Jesus with me. Because I have a relationship with him, I can trust him. And I've trusted him. And I know that Jesus has helped me get through really hard times in my life. Jesus can do the same thing for you if you'll grow in a relationship with him, if you'll learn to trust him more and more. Let's talk to God together right now. Just all of us together, those of you watching online and us in the room right now. Let's talk to God together. Let's talk to Jesus and tell him that we want to grow in a relationship with him. Let's tell him that we want to learn to trust him more. And so I'm going to pray, and as I pray, you can pray along with me with your own words if you want. It's okay. Jesus can listen to both of us at the same time, and it's not hard for him. Or maybe you just want to agree with me. Maybe you want to say, yes, amen, or yes, Jesus, or yes, God. However you want to pray, let's pray together. Let's talk to Jesus together and ask him to help us trust him more. Jesus, we thank you for who you are. We thank you that you love us. We thank you that you are good, that you have a good plan for our life. Jesus, I pray that you'd help us to trust you. Would you help us to know you better, to grow in our relationship with you? Would you show us more of who you are? And as we know you better and better, would you help us to trust you? Would you help us be willing to do what you tell us to do? Not just to believe in our head or feel in our heart, but to live with our lives what you've called us to do, to obey everything that you've asked us to do, to trust you fully. Jesus, I thank you that you're good, that you'll never ask us to do something that you won't give us the power to do. I pray you'd fill us with your power, that you'd fill us with your strength. Would you fill us with your love? Jesus, we love you. We thank you. It's for your beautiful name and your glorious fame that we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for being good listeners. Do some trust falls. Talk with your parents this week. Maybe draw a picture of Paul in a jail. And as you're drawing that picture, think about how hard it was for him and how he learned to trust Jesus. Think about all this stuff. Let's say the Bible point together as we end. Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus. See you, kids.
We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold, and we stand together. Your power we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole, and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole, and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you.
Welcome to our very first Rocky Wrap-Up. Each day we're going to be wrapping up our trip on the track with songs, smiles, and surprises. Every day, Rocky Wrap-Up will be a little bit different, so make sure your crew rolls into the station on time. Bighorn sheep like Ramsey are custom made to travel up steep mountains. When you see Ramsey, you can remember that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus. To help you remember all these important Bible points and verses, we have a special gift for you every day. Your very own Bible memory buddies. They're so cool, and there's even an app that your parents can download that lets you play a buddy game. You're going to get a card in your box that you can punch out with a buddy and hang it in your room or maybe on your fridge. And later in the week, you can use all of your buddies to play a game in your Tracking with Jesus Bible book. How cool is that? When we're friends with Jesus, he takes us to incredible places and shows us unbelievable things. God is right here with us always. Today you received a special gift to help you remember to look for God sightings. This bracelet that says Watch for God. We had a great first day at Rocky Railway. Thanks for celebrating Jesus' power with us. I can't wait for another day of adventure and discovery with you. See you tomorrow.
Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. This my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. There's a spirit I cannot contain. There's a spirit I cannot contain. The same power that raised Jesus up from the grave. The same spirit I cannot contain. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. This my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. Breath upon these bones, your fire in my soul.